Alright, what's up everybody? Heading over the pass right now, going over to Moses Lake. Just figured I'd give a quick update, quick intro. Not really sure how to do this whole YouTube thing, but if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you for watching and really appreciate it. I got a couple hours left on the drive. Excited, we're gonna go hit Moses in the morning. Won't be there until about 10 p.m. tonight. Just left Bellingham at about 5 p.m. so working our way slowly over there. Got the boat hooked up behind me and I'm freaking pumped. I absolutely love hitting new water, and I've heard so many great things about Moses Lake, so been looking forward to this one for a while. This will be the practice video for the Pondjumperz individual tournament on Moses. It's a 2-day event, so it'll be cool. I'm hoping I can get these 2 days of practice in on Moses. Marked some stuff on Google Earth, Navionics, Lake Master, everything. Went through it, checked it. Now it's just time to put everything that I found to the drawing board, or found from the drawing board, to work. Messed that up. Long drive. Well, I'll catch you guys out there. Alright, good morning everybody. Out on the lake finally. Sun's up a little bit much. Just spent the last like 30 minutes rigging up and idling to this spot up here. Got a bunch of random stuff tied on. I'm assuming this is gonna be a pretty good post-spawn smallmouth area. From the looks of it on Google Earth and Navionics, it's a nice island kind of ridge that comes out and had a lot of rock on it. So, you know, I got some top water, I got some square bills, moving baits, just gonna cover some water and see if I can't find anything. I'll take you guys along with me. Well, what you probably saw there, I don't know how much of that I'm going to include. There's not a rocky point out there. There's a very grassy point. It's got a little bit of rock on the end, nice little transition spot. Didn't catch anything off of it. But I did catch that one, like 1.5-ish pounder. Not tournament fish, so I'll bounce it out. I did a little bit of graphing on the outsides of that. Found some rock, but didn't see any sign of life, so we're gonna go try a little bit of backwater stuff, see if I can't get something going back there, and then bounce around. Should be fun. tree. $304, good fish. It's number 2. 317. Not too big, not too small. Like good fish. Just flipping real shallow. I mean, like 2 feet of water. And it's blown in bank that's got a bunch of matted down toolies on it. Alright, just giving you guys a quick midday update. It's 12:24. Sitting on about like 9.5, close to 10 pounds. I don't remember exactly what it is. I got another nice like 3.5 pounder. Skipping a Senko under an isolated dock. But that was about 2 hours ago. It's been tough. I've been bouncing around, trying different things, looking at the lake. I'm just staying on the northern portion of the lake right now. That may change as the day goes on. But I'm gonna try and hit some stuff that I found on Google Earth. I got some isolated rock areas off of some docks. It looks like it could be some juicy little post-spawn action. Anyways, fishing right now on that northern kind of like middle fork. Water's super clear. It's a little bit colder. So there I saw a fish, good solid 4-pound smallmouth spawning. Won't mean anything next weekend, and I'm not gonna mess with it. But seems like it's definitely further behind up here, and so I'm gonna try and find some areas where these fish may just have pulled up post spawn, so that maybe next week they'll load up again. I don't know. Other places I was fishing were definitely warmer and further along in their transition, so it's a little bit more easy. I guess it would be a little bit easier to find them. Post-spawn largemouth and smallmouth get kind of funky right after they stop guarding their fry, so it's kind of like if you can get on a good timing deal, maybe a good area, maybe there's a spot where they can get tucked away, and you know, a good spot where it's shaded and not too hit with the north wind. It's probably what they want. At least that's what I'm looking for. But I'll hit you guys with hopefully a couple more fish. I'm assuming this tournament's gonna take 12 to 14 pounds a day to win. That's the 3 fish limit. I'm sitting on 9 pounds, but I know it's in this lake, or at least I think I know it's in this lake, right? So let's get after it. So that rock pile that I was talking about earlier, I found it. It's a little bit bigger than I thought. It's probably like 4 or 5 times the size of my boat. And there's a school of smallmouth on it. I was able to crank one up. I got the angle right. I cranked one up on a 6XD. And then I whipped around and threw a jig in there, and I saw one of the biggest smallmouth I've ever seen in my entire life, just aggressively working that jig. And I just caught another one. I lost one, probably about 3 pounds. And I just caught one about 2 pounds. Just hopping a beef craw, or like a baby beef craw, on a half-ounce football head. So now I'm going back to kind of stroking a jig. So what I'm doing to get these fish to bite, I think at least, is I'm hitting it from a different angle. Most people kind of parallel a bank like this, but I'm actually sitting more on the bank, casting at a 45 off into the main lake. Right of like a 45. Oh shoot! I'm trying to explain this and I can't. Just like a 45-degree angle across this rock pile. And I think it's just an angle that these fish haven't seen before, because typically, I mean, people will come down, burn a chatterbait, burn a spinnerbait down the bank, right? And they'll pass up this, or they'll go through this and they'll fish it, but they fish it at the wrong angle. Those fish, they know, okay, somebody's fishing for us, but like, you get kind of weird with the angles, and those fish just aren't used to it, and they're like, oh, okay, I want that bait. That's at least my logic behind it. I'm not sure if that's how that works or not, but that's my thinking. Well, good morning everybody. This is day 2 of practice on Moses. Yesterday got a little bit messed up. Turns out a black GoPro does not like 91-degree heat. Who would have thought that? Apologies for the lack of footage from yesterday. It's a little bit lacking. Caught a few fish. Didn't exactly figure too much out, more with the largemouth. Figured out some smallmouth stuff. Pretty much every place I rolled up to that had isolated boulders off of a flat with kind of like that sand silt composition on the bottom, like with the bigger rocks mixed in there, is where I was able to pull some fish. I lost a really nice smallmouth yesterday. Hook just snapped off on my mega bass. Not really sure how that happened, but who knows. Gonna go try a spot this morning, a little community hole, see if I can't pull something off of it, see if we can't put something together. I'm on the other side of the lake today. Yeah, bring you guys along. Not sure how much I'm gonna be able to get with this heat. It's supposed to be 95 today, not 91, so can't promise you it's gonna be any better for the GoPro. But thanks for staying along if you're this far. Really appreciate it. Thank you. There's the good stuff. So what I was trying to say earlier essentially was that was just a pretty good community hole. I mean, I had that guy roll up on me first thing in the morning. I had a couple other people show up, and it seems like a good spot if I need some numbers. Not really sure what else I'll find today, but just bounce around the other side of the lake that I didn't explore. Found this nice little rock pile on Google Earth, and hopefully it'll kind of set up similar to what I found yesterday, and there should be smallmouth on it. I don't know, these smallmouth are weird. They kind of freak me out. I mean, I'm catching them in a foot of water. I mean, yesterday I caught a freaking smallmouth on a frog. Weird, to say the least. I mean, for me, I don't know, maybe these east side smallmouth are actually just largemouth that got a good tan, but either way, I'll take them as long as they're over 3 pounds. I'm really looking for that 4-pound bite. I really think it's going to take at least a 4-pounder, if not a couple 4s and a 5. But we got to find it, and we got pretty much all day to do it, so take you guys along with. And I apologize about the camera angle. I was just looking back at the footage from over there, and you guys have been staring at the inside of the boat the entire time. So long story short, I broke my GoPro mount bringing it here. You guys are currently on a fish finder mount, and that's where I had the GoPro mount, but I had my cover on and it snapped it, destroyed it, so I can't put a GoPro in it, and now it's gone. I have no idea where it is. Same thing with my net. That thing's gone somehow. Yeah, so hopefully this is a little bit better. Like I said, I'm getting used to this whole YouTube thing. It's not easy. Props to all the guys that do it. I mean, they make it look pretty easy, but I can see just how hard it is. Yeah, if you guys have any tips or suggestions, just feel free to leave them down in the comments. You know, it's all a learning experience, and I'm gonna make my mistakes and live with them. So thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh. That was a surprise. I rolled up to this little island out here. I saw a little hump on Navionics and I was like, okay, go check that out, give it a try. It's just some isolated grass clumps out there. But I saw this rock on the bank and I was like, huh, that looks like what I was fishing earlier. It looks like what I was fishing yesterday. Kind of fit the criteria. It was a little bit different. It's a little bit of a sloping rock versus kind of it's more of like a 30-degree angle as opposed to a 45. That fish was just sitting right on the edge of it. Every fish that I've caught that was okay today was on this guy. Little beef craw and a finesse jig on this rock. Fish went 584, almost a 6-pounder. Fortunately, that puts me over double digits, so we're at 12. So what are we at? 12 pounds, 16 ounces. So, doing all right. Doing all right. It's a beautiful fish. Very lucky that I got to handle her. Still got a 2-pounder in there that I gotta cull out, but like that. 5-pounder. Completely unexpected. Every time I turn the GoPro off, turn it off for just a couple minutes, figured, hey, give it a break of just watching me cast, turn it on a little bit. That's what you get. So, we'll be recording a little bit more. This a couple of times now. Just wrapped up with practice, just getting on the road, headed back to Bellingham. I got about 4 hours driving to do. It was good. Moses Lake is a cool lake. Very glad I was able to make the trip out here. Not really sure what's in store for me next weekend. I found some stuff. I'll just kind of break it down with kind of what I did. So, first day, right, we got Moses Lake. It kind of splits off into 3 branches. I kind of split it in half. There's like the lower section where you got to go under the bridge and go around the point. I left that for day 2, which was today. And on day 1, I just went to the north end. With that, I was able to kind of pick apart areas a little bit more thoroughly instead of looking at a map and saying like, okay, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here. I was able to kind of just like look and find select areas that I could break down and know that, okay, I have all day. I think I spent like 15 hours on the lake yesterday. Pretty good amount of time. In the north end, what I found some shallower areas. I found a little cutaway, kind of, I would almost say it's like a creek. There's a video of it. I was flipping a tree and I caught a 3.5 pound smallmouth. It's wild to me that they do that. A bunch of weirdos. But I also went down there and I flipped up another largemouth and kind of just like blew through the area. I didn't really want to pick anything apart too far since it was such a small area. I replicated that up the lake a little bit. There's kind of a little cutaway. I flipped up a nice 3.5 pound largemouth, and then, I mean, I just kind of burned through that area. Caught another one on a frog and a mat, all in about 1.5 to 2 foot of water, maybe 2 feet. I'd say like 1.5 to 1.75 foot. It was shallow. Water clarity in both of those spots, I'd say it was about a foot, maybe a little bit less. And water temps were ranging from about 74 to 77, which is pretty warm. I had anticipated on seeing a little bit of fry guarding going on, but there was absolutely none of that I noticed. That was just in kind of those shallower areas. What else did I do? I also, oh, that's right, I went up the 2 horns. So I think there's Parker and Pelican Horn or something. I probably got those wrong, but they're the 2 that are accessible on the North Basin. When I went up those, I went up the left one. I went all the way up it, and it was the clearest water, the cleanest water, but also the coldest water that I found. I think the water temp was anywhere from about 69 to 72, which is, I mean, it may not seem like a lot, but it's enough for those fish to be in a different stage. I saw a nice, probably 4 to 4.5 pound smallmouth on a bed. Just left that guy, didn't even mess with it. But one thing that I found really special about that spot was actually when I was looking at Google Earth. I went back in time to when the lake was, I don't know how much lower it was. I would assume it's probably like 5 to 10 feet lower in this satellite imagery. And what I noted was this nice rock pile that came out, and on this bank, I mean, it's just all tules, sand bottom, and then there's a rock pile, and you can't see it when you drive by it. So it's like, okay, I'll go check that out. I went and checked it out, and I have this all on video, so this is just a recap. I don't know exactly what I got down on video, so I'm just going over it for you. But I was cranking on it. I was throwing a 6XD just on the deeper portion, cranking it up at a 45-degree angle, paralleling the bank out off at a 45. And I got one about 2 pounds, but something in my gut was like, there's fish. I mean, I didn't see anything on the live, but I was like, there's fish here. And so I switched angles and started casting off the end of it and bringing it back to the bank. And I was throwing a jig. I think I caught 2.5 and another like 1.5. But what it did was it fired up the school and brought them off the bottom. And what I was throwing, I started to throw after that. I put on a 1/2 ounce football head with a baby beef craw on it, and I would cast that out and just snap it up. I was pretty much like stroking a jig, but just a football head. And oh my goodness, I got them going. I mean, it was like 4 casts in a row. It was like fish, 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 fish. I lost a couple of them, caught a couple of them, but it was nuts. And I made this one cast, and I snapped it up, and one ate it, and I set the hook without feeling it, you know, just slacklined it. I got too excited. And so I let it sit and ate it again, and I missed it. And I was like, okay, it's gotta be all messed up. And so I started to reel it in, and you know, that beef crust, got a crazy thump on it. And I brought it all the way to the boat. It had to have been like a 5.5, 6 pound smallmouth to follow me in. And so I just left immediately after that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna save this for the tournament. So I got that to look forward to. I'm freaking stoked about that. I started out in the morning fishing a bridge, kind of a bridge dam looking thing, and that was really successful. I think I boated 10 fish in 20 minutes, and unfortunately I watched a guy flip over his kayak, but I was able to help him out get his kayak before it sunk. I caught a nice 3.5 pound largemouth there, another high I think it was like 289 smallmouth, and then a whole bunch of other smallmouth. There's just a massive fish there. That was pretty cool to see, and that was kind of what I'd found earlier with the smallmouth being on the rocks. Very similar sort of sediment to rock transition that I noticed on both of those places. And so what I did with that was I took that idea and put it on some other areas that I'd found a little bit further down from that bridge. First spot was a bust. It was too shallow. I mean, I saw the rock pile on Google Earth. I had no way to tell how deep it actually would have been, but it was probably a foot, maybe 2 feet, and some of the rocks were sticking out of the water, and there was nothing on it. So I went to the south end of the furthest south island on the east side. That's a mouthful. Nice offshore grass, some fish in it, but you'll see it in the video. I didn't get it too well because I, for some reason, turned off the GoPro at this time. But I went up there and I was off the bank and I looked up and it was the exact same rock sediment transition that I had seen and had success on throughout the lake. And so I picked up the little finesse jig that I'd caught him in the morning, or I guess it was still morning time. But I picked up that jig and I made a cast just paralleling it, perfectly paralleling it. I was just dragging it. I was like, man, it's freaking heavy. Set the hook, it just doesn't. Okay. And then this thing just takes off, jumps probably a solid foot or two in the air, almost 6 pounds largemouth. Absolutely caught me off guard. I'll throw a picture in there for you guys. But that was pretty sweet. A lot to break down, a lot that I saw, which is a good thing, because I almost guarantee you most of my fish will not be there next weekend, which is the unfortunate part of this game, but it's what keeps you on your toes. I'm just glad I got to see the whole lake, so come game time I can make my decisions and hopefully make the right decisions, land on some fish. Only 3 fish limit this time, so looking forward to it. I think it'll probably take 14 pounds, maybe 14 pounds a day. I think you're winning 28 pounds total, but I bet you it might be like 27 pounds. I bet you somebody will have a stellar day, like 14, 15 pounds, and back it up with like a 12-pound bag, 11, 12-pound bag. A lot of 3-pound fish in that lake, so I think the weights are going to be tight. But yeah, I know I went on talking there for a minute. I gotta get back to driving, and hopefully I can get this video up and edited. Hopefully it's not too bad. I know I missed a lot. Heat didn't help that I couldn't record much, so what do you do about that? I don't know. If any of you guys have ever had that issue where you're trying to record and your GoPro just freaking overheats because it's 2 million degrees outside, let me know how you fixed it, because I'm very interested. I want to keep putting these videos out for you guys. I know it's not a lot of you guys, but I think it's fun documenting my progress and seeing where I'm going and just kind of keeping updates out there, So I would say thank you for everybody that's subscribed and commented. Watch my stuff. I know it's not a lot of you, but I appreciate all of you. So thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.